Number 2, she is a threat to be reckoned with, and of course, Mimi Collier looking for a Big Ten crown with Wisconsin this year, but also getting looks as the National Player of the Year candidate, as well as 4 others on the Nebraska side for this one.
We've got star power all around in this kind of matchup. That's what's going to make it so much fun.
Back to serve first is Sigler, the freshman from Nebraska. Tight pass to start. It's Collier who goes high hands. Roll shot deep to the middle back, and the enforcer, Egan, on the right. Harper goes high hands, throws in the tip, and gets the job done. Nebraska opens up the scoring.
One key for Wisconsin in this is going to be trying to outlast Nebraska's defense. It's second best in the country for a reason. They are gritty on the Husker side.
Not to mention the opponent's hit percentage as well. We'll dive into that in just a moment. Another big serve here from Terea. Sigler goes into the net that time, so an early equalizer for Wisconsin. Serving was an area that Danny Busboom-Kelly was looking for some improvement on, and she talked to you about that.
Yeah, Coach really found a lot of improvement in this Nebraska team. They're hitting seams better and hitting it with more pace from the back line.
Big serve from Wisconsin. They're going to need more of that tonight to have success against the Cornhuskers, and they'll take an early lead with that. But that one, to me, started with the serve. A look at the legend himself, Kelly Sheffield, guided his team to a national championship in 2021, his 13th season as the Wisconsin head coach, and one of the best in the game. That's deep for Wisconsin. That's Kristen Simon. But serving, we talked about it, always at a point of emphasis, but especially against Nebraska, who has so many weapons. Emily.
Nebraska is one of the best passing teams in the country. Couple that with the offensive weapons that they have. Wisconsin has to serve really tough tonight to try to neutralize Nebraska's balance.
Lainey Choboy throws a serve in. Andrew throws in a tip from the middle. Choboy. And that is well out for Nebraska. Adriano throws that one out. There's a look at Danny Busboom-Kelly, who returned home this season to lead her alma mater, becoming just the 4th head coach in program history after John Cook's legendary run. National champion as a player. Made it to the final last year as coach for Louisville.
Service errors are definitely something to watch for Wisconsin because they have to serve really tough. The batters are okay with a few more errors than they would typically have, but they can't rack them up too high because Nebraska scores enough points on their own.
Very good point there. Perfect pass. Collier gets a dime, but it's dug up in the backcourt by Sigler. That one's easy to read. Horner goes back to Collier, her favorite hitter. Why wouldn't it be? Full command on a free ball situation, not so much. Nebraska recovers it off the tape. It's Harper Murray that goes into hands and gets the job done.
Nebraska throughout this set so far has outlasted Wisconsin and done a really good job creating opportunities in the back row to run in-tempo offenses on the pins.
Now back to serve for Nebraska. Horner throws it again to Collier, throws in a tip. That one is out. Collier can't believe it. Mount was on it though, had that ball been in.
It is so tough to score against Nebraska's defense because they have 2 of the best littles in the country, with Lainey Choboy, who's wearing the libero jersey on Nebraska's side, number 6 in white, and Olivia Mauk, number 10. They are so good patrolling that back row.
They've been flipping back and forth at that libero position, and right on cue, Collier punches back, and Wisconsin needed it. Chance to tie it here.
How about that heat from Mimi Collier? She puts so much power on the ball on the right side of your screen. Check out how hard she hits this. Come on.
That's the 2022 AVCA National Freshman of the Year, transferred to Wisconsin from Oregon, leading the offense for sure. Harper Murray back to work, throws it to the middle, and Harper Murray can find a way to get kills from any position on the court, no matter what the set, no matter where she is.
Murray is so difficult to defend because she sees the defense so well. She's able to see where the defenders are and place her shot perfectly right where they are.
Deep post serve for Harper Murray on cue. Horner throws it back to Alicia Andrew. To the middle, the athletic Andy Jackson throws it, and that tempo is hard to stop from a blocker standpoint.
Especially when Nebraska has the firepower to absolutely bang on some balls. But the Huskers are throwing in a lot of tips right now. They've been really crafty about where they're placing their shots.
Unavagic loads up on the pin. Simon goes right back to the well. High hands that time. That'll do it with Riley and Jackson loading up on a double block.
Vajagic is such a good attacker because she's very experienced. She's played in the Serbian circuits for a while over internationally, so she has the experience to take swings like this where that ball, if the block wasn't up, is going out of bounds, but she's so good at clipping fingertips to send it out.
Back to serve for Wisconsin. It's the Lincoln, Nebraska native and a freshman that gets the ace on Nebraska.
Beautiful serve from Natalie Wardlow, just putting it right over the top of the tape, perfectly in the seam between the two passers.
Gutsy serve, too, between the elite passing of Choboy and Mauk. Another big serve. Choboy handles it that time. Oh, boy. Look out for Andy Jackson off 1 foot.
Best of luck stopping Andy Jackson when she's running a slide behind the setter. Jackson is so powerful there, and the connection between Bergen Riley, the setter, and Jackson going behind is so good, and one of the best slide attacks in the whole country.
And you talked about Nebraska's offense ranking top in the nation, hitting .335 as a team this season. And Unavagic is a little bit too tight there. The Nebraska block gobbles it up. But Emily, the gap between Nebraska's hitting percentage and the opponent hitting percentage is 223, which is insane. The best in the nation by far and away. That was a stat that John Cook also told me after the match was staggering in his eyes. And Carter Booth goes up heavy. What a dig from Harper Murray. Keeps it alive. We're still playing. Horner out to Vajagic. Denied by the net. And Harper Murray gets the MVP at that point.
This match was going to come down to big defensive plays. Harper Murray did exactly that, chasing this ball down and not just getting it up, but bringing it back into the court to allow her teammates to get that ball back over. I mean, the hustle for Murray on this play is one of the reasons why Nebraska is one of the best.
Couldn't pay it off with a serve from Andy Jackson. That one's deep, and Wisconsin will go back to work. Addie Horner steps to the service line. 3 attackers in the front row for Wisconsin. Grace Egan back into the lineup as well. Their slide attack, that's Alec that time. Simon Swift goes out to the pin. Bergen Riley shoots it over the net, and she runs the most dynamic offense in the country. It's the balance and it's her ability to attack, Emily.
Bergen Riley doesn't get enough credit leading this team. She is so good with her hands in setting her attackers, but also so smart and crafty, knowing when she should take it over and the defense isn't ready.
Bergen Riley right on cue, goes for the seam of the Wisconsin passing core, and a kill will get the job done for Wisconsin. Vajagic back to work next.
Grace Egan back on the court for the Badgers is massive addition. She missed about a month with injury, but man, since she's been back, she's been electric.
Well, she was questionable coming into tonight's match too, Emily. Good to see her out there in full capacity, it seems. Vajagic back at the line, attacking Landfair. Rebecca Alec goes off of hands. Hard to miss Carter Booth. 6'7" in the middle, but there's a look at Rebecca Alec, the senior middle attacker, also on the watch list for the ABCA National Player of the Year award that will be given end of the year. Terrain Sigler, the freshman outside, plays 3 rotations in the back row at the service line. High hands for Collier. Another kill for the Badgers.
Really smart shot from Amy Collier. We've seen the power that Collier can use up front, but watch this crafty play. She identifies where the block is set up and turns her shoulders to hit it right off the hands and out of bounds.
And that is why Mimi Collier has been the go-to attacker all season long. 2 kills so far tonight. Only beaten by Harper Murray with 3. Kristen Simon, freshman libero, back at the line. Harper Murray throws up a dime of a pass and polishes it off on the seam. What's the rationale to serve Harper Murray in that situation?
Well, you want to make Harper Murray and try to take her out of the offense, make her work harder, but Murray is such a good passer, and they're able to run different routes. This time they ran Murray a little bit more inside toward the setter than they normally do. That makes it so difficult when you're defending that, to watch that route and get the block up in time.
Swift tip from Grace Egan, and the right time to do it. She was bombs away. One swing ago, mixing it up and keeping the Nebraska defense on their toes.
And Grace Egan is really tough to stop because she does bring that power, but she also is really smart about when she's putting in a tip.
What a set. It's a little tight. Collier takes advantage, pushes those hands across the net. No chance for Virginia Adriano to put that ball away.
In matches like this, when you're playing one of your rivals, it's a top 11 team in the country, you have to have your stars show up, and Mimi Collier has to be big if Wisconsin's going to get this win.
Roll shot, easy to read for Kristen Simon. Throws it up. Oh, an attack from Horner. Harper Murray had the angle open, and Simon couldn't get a hold of it. Block was just a little bit too far out.
Yeah, Wisconsin's block has to set up better than that. Harper Murray has the ability to rip this cross-court shot. Right here, the blockers need to be one step to our right, so they take off that really sharp shot.
Olivia Mauk back in the lineup and back at the service line, number 10 in black. Ooh, that ball might have been going out. We'll never know. Addie Horner goes out to Collier. What a dig from Sigler. Tip to the middle. Simon's on it that time. Collier, big into the block. Covers by Simon. Vajagic goes out of the back row and is blocked. Wisconsin looking for a net mark, keeping it close, but not enough. We'll see. Collier goes high hands. It's dug up again by Sigler, who's been stellar in the back row. Harper Murray has everything. What a get from Kristen Simon. Net violation called on Nebraska, and that is A+ defense for the Badgers.
Badgers really picking up their defense and ability to control some of those easier plays that Nebraska's giving them. The Huskers have been really crafty today, throwing in tips and roll shots. The Wisconsin defense has to make those adjustments like they just did.
Love that flying dig from Kristen Simon, a Louisville, Kentucky native, known for their scrappy defense. Nice serve from Collier, and a roof from Alicia Andrew, who made a good adjustment there.
Massive adjustment. Harper Murray ripped the last one right inside the 10-foot line. Look at where the block is set up here on Wisconsin side. They're left inside, so they're taking away the really sharp cross-court shot that Murray wants to hit.
Nowhere to go there for Harper Murray. Collier back to work, throws it deep that time after checking in a short serve. Andy Jackson flying high once again on the slide attack, as she does best.
Andy Jackson's slide is an absolute cheat code. Every time she's going up to hit it, the connection is so good. She's always using power and can see the defense so well.
What's the best way to set up the block on that slide? It's so efficient, so quick.
Well, it's difficult because Jackson has the ability, as Nebraska gets that ace, Jackson has the ability to hit all shots. Now, her power shot is back into the court, so typically the block would want to take that angle away and force her to hit line. But it's tough because Jackson can also rip that line shot.
Exactly. Her tendencies are hard to pick up on. Nice pass there from Grace Egan out of the back row. Collier throws in a roll shot. And Bergen Riley just sets the offense with such ease. Never in a panic, never in a hurry.
One of the best every year.
September 16th feels like a year ago. You were on that call the last time Nebraska dropped it. It's a bomb cross court for Nebraska to enjoy.
Much better scrappy defense on the Badger side, picking things up in the backcourt. That allows more transition opportunities on their side to have more available attacks.
Well, Natalie Wardlow, I'll tell you what, number 12 of the service line, the freshman, part of an incredible class that came into Wisconsin. And my goodness, explain that serve. Why is it hard with the point of contact to read it as a passer?
That's not a win.
And this team goes through Bergen Riley, who in my opinion still does not get enough credit for what she's done.
Well, and this puts it into context. Nebraska's single season team hitting percentage, these are the records. You look at 86, 07, 05. They're hitting .335 right now, which would be a program record. And that's with so much parity in the NCAA. And
wow, the best it's been. And how about that? Ace number 3. For Natalie Wardlow, the Lincoln, Nebraska native. That's a statement.
And this is one of the best passing teams in the nation on the Husker side. It's so difficult to just get one ace, let alone 3 in a single set.
Matching a career high, that is 3. We'll see if she can beat that here tonight. It is a wicked serve. Malk struggles to handle it that time. Sigler stays in the front row for Landfair. Out to Vajagic, and the block is late. The block is denied. Vajagic throws it down to tie it at 18.
Sometimes it just takes one service run to give your team momentum headed in.
Take another look. Great tempo, too, from Addie Horner, the freshman center, stepping in the injury of Charlie Furbringer. Another big serve, but it's deep, and Nebraska takes a deep breath after seeing Wardlow go on a tear.
What a service run from the freshman coming in. It is so difficult to go back there and hit a confident serve against the #1 team in the nation. That's a gutsy player right there.
Greeted by hugs on the sideline, too. Wicked stuff from the freshman Wardlow. Now back to the service line is Andy Jackson for Nebraska. Defense not as stout with her in the back. Quick slide. Rebecca Alec catches up to it. How did she get there?
I mean, what an angle. Alec was chasing down that slide to hit it line. Kelly Sheffield with a smile. He couldn't even believe it. Check out this angle on the right side of your screen. It's pushed all the way out. She barely gets her feet there and can still rip it right down.
This kind of sends a roll shot down the line. What an athletic play from Rebecca Alec. Love her demeanor on the court, too. Carter Booth connects a little bit with Horner, and that middle connection can be hard to develop, especially with a new center, especially with a young center, Emily.
And especially when Carter Booth is 6'7" and touches such a high contact point. A quick attack feels like you're setting a 2-ball because it's so high.
It's a great point. Addie Horner back to work at the service line. What a pass from Harper Murray. We play on. Out of system, Landfair back in the front row. Gets a little lucky off the tape. They'll take it. Nebraska back on top by 2.
This is where Nebraska is so good. From point 20 on, we call it the red zone of volleyball because you're in the last 5 points of the set. This is where you want to be really good and not allow an opponent to come back.
Take a look at this. 56-0 in sets when reaching the red zone first this season. Is Nebraska unbeaten? It's a theme of unbeatens this year. Nice dig out there by Landfair. Booth gets a hold of it on the block, though. Harper Murray throws out. Nice set. Bergen Riley back to run the offense. Murray chasing it. And we're chaotic, and it is down. Wisconsin trying to bail out a chaotic situation. They cannot.
Nebraska is so good at blocking in out-of-system situations. If there's...
That would be wild. 9 Big Ten teams making it to the tournament. Scrappy tip from Una Vajagic is kept alive by Nebraska. Vajagic again on the right side. Nice coverage by Kristen Simon. Through the hole in the block. Grace Egan finds it.
Wisconsin has hit another level toward the second half of the set. The defensive intensity has picked up, and that's fueling the offense. The attackers for Wisconsin are ramping it up.
By the way, Texas in a tight one here tonight against Texas A&M in a 5th set situation. A lot of talk about who should be #1. Well, I think Nebraska continues to make the strongest argument. Collier goes high hands to success. Wisconsin with a chance to tie it at 22 after the timeout taken by Kelly Sheffield a moment ago.
Wisconsin has come back with aggression. That's been from the service line and up front. The key right now is to stay as aggressive and not let Nebraska off the hook.
Fighting that seam with ease is Collier. Bergen Riley setting from the 10-foot line makes it look easy. Out to Rebecca Alec. That set from the middle of the court nearly. Emily Eamon, such a smart choice.
Anytime Nebraska is able to run the slide attack, meaning the middle attack and a quick ball behind the setter, the Huskers have to run it. It is so efficient anytime either Alec or Jackson's running it.
Bergen Riley's hands are as smooth as glass. Fun to watch. Vajagic throws up a great pass for Wisconsin, and some way, somehow, Carter Booth gets a kill on a tip that should have been blocked.
Really smart decision from Booth in this kind of moment. The set wasn't very good. She had to adjust midair, goes right on the blocker's hands. Kind of a misplay from Alec up front, too.
Missed opportunity, and a big opportunity here for the Badgers to tie it. Kristen Simon floats one to Sigler. And that is a dynamic swing from Rebecca Alec.
Alec is on fire today. She is 4 for 6 right now, just hitting the crap out of the ball. She is trying to take the leather off.
Strikes it. Set point here for Nebraska. Ooh, set is tight, and Horner gets it out of the net. Bombs away from Nebraska, dug out by Simon. Annie Horner goes to Collier, who's dug out by Choboy. Oh boy, Harper Murray denied. We're still alive though. It's Nebraska, they never give up. Egan goes heavy. A little bit off, Harper Murray tries the line this time. A defender is there. Collier, high line as well. Sigler digs it up. Harper Murray for the win in set number 1, 25-22. Wisconsin was close, but Nebraska pulls it.
Both sides of the ball. They're picking up everything defensively and transitioning that into incredibly efficient offense.
That's championship level volleyball. Nebraska locking in. That's 35 consecutive sets won their streak. Not ending yet in Madison. Set 2 is next.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Diane.
Hi, I just received my new Discover card. It says cash back on every purchase. What's cash back?
It's new. Buy what you need, earn a little extra back.
Even on walkie-talkies, rope, and a baseball bat?
You betcha.
10 to 15 pumpkins? That works.
Absolutely.
How about flowers?
What he meant to say was flamethrower.
A what?
Hey, co-pilot. How do I go there?
That's Rio Secreto. You'd fly into Cancun.
You see my budget, though. Can I afford it?
Reevaluating hot yoga could free up funds.
That's a good idea.
At the University of Wisconsin-Madison, we believe in working together to address real-world challenges. That's why we're proud to help farmers cultivate healthy food and landowners preserve and maintain forest land. We're proud to educate the next generation of teachers and drive groundbreaking medical research. Together, we make an impact that rings loud and clear. One Wisconsin, on Wisconsin.
Sunday, don't miss a volleyball triple header. Wisconsin takes on Ohio State. Then, top-ranked Nebraska hosts Oregon, followed by Indiana against Penn State. Unstoppable. Coverage begins at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific on the Big Ten Network.
I'm like so starstruck.
I know. He's so much taller in person.
I'm struggling with his proportions.
Yeah, because you're taking too long. You know, one time I filed a claim in under 2 minutes on the Geico app. Little to the right, G? Yeah. If they can work wonders that fast, why can't I? Voila.
Spitting image.
Show off.
What was that?
Get more than just savings. Get more with Geico.
Welcome back to Madison, where Kelly Sheffield's crew is trying to conjure up some Halloween magic and hand Nebraska its first set loss since September. No dice so far, but the Halloween costumes are epic, as we would expect inside the field house. And Emily, the stars are out in full force, especially on Nebraska's side, and with good reason.
All the way around, one of the most dynamic offenses in the country. Harper Murray hitting over 350 in Big Ten play, and the middle's combining for over 5 kills a set. On Wisconsin's side, Mimi Collier, 5th in the country right now, averaging over 5 kills a set by herself. Crazy. Carter Booth, almost 1.4 blocks a set, and Una Vagic does not get enough credit for what she brings out on the floor in her all-around play. A 61 good pass percentage is insanely high for an outside.
That's a great point. Here are the leaders tonight. It's all Harper Murray with 7 kills, hitting above 300, and Nebraska doing a good job of what their key was to somewhat neutralize Mimi Collier, if that's even possible. You're going to live with some kills on their side, but how are they able to slow her down a little bit?
Nebraska's doing a really good job setting up their block against Collier. They're forcing Collier to play a little bit more crafty, throw in some tips and roll shots that just aren't falling on Nebraska's side because they're so good at picking that up.
Not that 4 kills is any slight to Mimi Collier. It's just the dynamic offense. Again, a more well-rounded situation for Nebraska. They have 4 attackers at once every time. Roll shot is dug up to start set number 2. Sigler with a pass on a dime out. to the pin. Virginia Adriano throws it down. 6'5", originally from Italy, and freshman at 21 years old.
And Adriano's first kill of the night. She's had a few good looks, just not many that have fallen. That's a great opportunity for Bergen Riley to get her going early on.
Choboy back to the service line now. Jump float serve, it's a cannon. Libero on libero, crying for that sequence. Kristen Simon sends over a BB on the free ball. Andy Jackson still activated though on the push.
What a set from Bergen Riley. She was about 12 feet off the net, and that angle to get the ball to the middle is so difficult. Watch the way that Riley is able to almost side set this ball to get it to her middle in time with tempo. Beautiful location.
Bergen Riley just looked to the bench with a smile and gave a thumbs up. She just quietly runs the offense so efficiently. Nice serve again from Choboy, exploiting the seam. Collier goes down the line, catches Riley off guard with a big Nebraska block down the line.
Yeah, impressive shot from Collier. Yeah. This ball's coming from almost behind her head, and she's able to get around the block while she's barely even able to look at the block based on the way the ball's coming at her.
System for Nebraska. Murray chases it down and gets jammed up in the block.
Just a little bit too tight on that out-of-system ball. Sigler trying to lead Murray into the block, but just a trap set. And watch where this ball falls. It's just easy right in the blocker's hands.
And that's what makes life easy, though, with an aggressive serve like Mimi Collier just pulled off a moment ago to tie it early at 2, then goes right back into the net. You live with some service errors, though, because that's the pressure you need to get Nebraska out of system, as you mentioned earlier, Emily.
Especially the way that Wisconsin was able to come back during the first set. That all started with great service pressure from the back line. Totally okay with multiple service errors a set on the Badgers side, as long as they're bringing pressure.
That's a great point. Mauk goes down the line on Egan. Addie Horner throws it to the pin. Vajic goes high hands, dug out by Mauk. Andy Jackson off of one, dug out by Collier. Ooh, and tip is denied from Vajic, who goes into the big Nebraska hands of Andy Jackson.
Even if Jackson doesn't get a kill on the slide attack, it's almost always sending the other team out of system. That makes her job as on Nebraska's side. Horner is right on the top of the net. Barely a blocker in sight, coming in just a little bit late. Good identification to go right over her.
Chatted with Kelly Sheffield about Addie Horner. He said, I hate to think of where we'd be if we didn't have her here. Obviously, only a year behind Charlie. She knew what she was stepping into, joining this Wisconsin program. Nice dig for Wisconsin. Collier sets up in the seam, and Vajic stays patient, throws a cut shot the other way.
Hammer from Vajic outside. Not typically a player that's known for that kind of flash, just kind of goes about her business, but bringing a lot of heat on this play, even in an out-of-system situation.
Look out. It's Natalie Wardlow time at the service line for the Badgers. Silky set, not in the best location though for Murray. Horner goes back. Murray again, off the block, and goes with ease to the hands of Addie Horner. And when you're going against a young setter on the block, especially, Harper Murray's one of those veteran players that knows where to go.
Yeah, really smart. When you have a younger blocker you're going up against, typically they don't always have their hands in the best position, so keep testing out that block until it works.
Harper Murray to the back row, and gradual improvements every year. What a great story Murray has had too. Landfair digs it out, and Murray tries to direct traffic from the back row. Tight, and Vajic tries to go for the hands. Bergen Riley knew it was coming, pulls her hands down at the last second.
If you watch the way that Nebraska plays defense in the back row, it looks like players are literally fighting over the ball because of how they're going after it. That's what makes them so tough.
Collier out of the back row for the Badgers. Oh boy. Nice shot with Andy Jackson off the quick off 1 foot. And again, Nebraska, they scrap out points. It's not always pretty, but the way they're able to battle every single sequence can frustrate and degrade the other team.
I'm just looking for a touch on here on that ball. Not called a touch.
Let's see one live. Ball is good, and a Nebraska player caught in the net.
And that's 3 times now that we've seen a Husker player just come down on the top of the tape. A really good blocking team, but a little bit undisciplined up front.
Serve from Horner, working that soft position, but Choboy gets a hold of it.
It's a beautiful side out on Nebraska's side. Good pass leads to fast tempo outside for Taylor Landfair to go up and get a good rip on. 1 blocker up.
Andy Jackson goes down the line on Egan. Collier sends a soft roll shot. Mauk is on it. What a dig. It's basically like having a libero in the back row, but she is one. That's why Carter Booth had it. Hands were just slightly in the wrong position.
Rarely does Andy Jackson get set a D-ball in the back row as a middle. That's got to feel so good. That all started what an up from Mauk back there. And check this out, a middle hit from the back row. That's how good this offense is. You can even set the middles back there. Come on. It's not even fair.
I think there's a new tool in the toolkit for Nebraska. Like this offense needed any more tricks. Landfair goes big high hands. Nice dig from Egan. Scraps it out, then looks for the kill and gets the touch off the block.
Really smart play from Grace Egan up front. Difficult situation, big block in front of her. Really the only thing you can do if you have 4 big hands there is go right off it and out of bounds.
Madison Quest checking into the lineup for the Badgers. Freshman has seen some playing time this year. Bergen Riley goes softly to Taylor Landfair, goes tempo. Landfair gets a tip on it, and it lands in front of Quest.
It's crazy to think that Taylor Landfair, I don't want to say she's kind of the last offensive option on Nebraska's side, but in terms of kill per set production, she's there. Even though she's hitting almost 300 on the season, she's been phenomenal. And this is against Wisconsin just during her career, averaging almost 4 kills a set.
It's just crazy. Obviously very familiar with those border battles she was a part of for Minnesota. Bergen Riley goes right back to Landfair. And a miss, a rare one from Mimi Collier. So Nebraska creating the early edge here as they did in set number 1. We'll dive into what's causing the separation here in a moment. Bergen Riley back to work at the service line. Throws in a soft serve. Throws Wisconsin out of system, and they get called for a double. That ball goes over the net, therefore illegal. With the ball spinning off the hands of Carter Booth, and Nebraska not looking too concerned on his bench. Looking for answers, though, in a 6-point hole against Nebraska. Horner goes to Collier, who sends it deep, feeling, no, excuse me, there's a touch on the block. Was just going to say, we talked about it, but Mimi Collier, her numbers have not dropped off despite the change in center, and she still finds a way to get the job done no matter what.
Mimi Collier is a veteran, experienced player that has been in pretty much any situation that you can be in an NCAA volleyball during the regular season. She knows how to get up for these big games.
Well, to me, it's even more impressive, too, when you're in a situation where you are the go-to hitter. You have a double block up against you, whether you're in the front row, the back row, and you still find a way to grind it out every single night. Just crazy, the numbers she's averaging.
Yeah, Wisconsin lives and dies by the way that Mimi Collier plays, and it's tough to put that much pressure on one player, but with the production that Wisconsin gets out of her, she wins them a lot of games.
Denied.
But that number at the end, you can see the number of attempts to Collier have actually gone up since Horner has taken over the offense. A lot of that is a comfortability factor, knowing that you get a lot of production from that outside position. As Nebraska
setter, tough to be without her, but Wisconsin still continues to weather the storm. How did that State alive from Nebraska's side. What did that hit? Was that a foot?
She got it up with her foot.
Bergen Riley.
Just such a good defender. Even her feet are magnets for the
wild. Take another look at this.
Look, sometimes it's just about being in the right place at the right time. Bergen Riley's so good at that.
That is awesome. Alicia Andrew was like, what the heck?
Yeah. Come on.
Even your shoe? Come on. Adriano goes big, and it's out. Nebraska looking for a net challenge. Trying to call somebody on Wisconsin's side of the net. See any guilty faces there for Wisconsin. Big swing that time. Nice adjustment from Adriano. And by the way, hot off the press, Texas takes their first loss of the season to Texas A&M. Nebraska is the only remaining undefeated team in Division I, Emily.
And they've had to earn that #1 ranking.
Yes.
They've had it all season, but it has been a back and forth question of, should Texas deserve it? And to me, Nebraska has looked like the #1 team through and through based on the way that they play on both sides of the ball.
Mimi Collier finds it in a crucial moment where her team needs a break in momentum. The crowd is looking for something to cling on to.
Yeah, Wisconsin needs some kind of high momentum play just to get them going. When you're playing in front of nearly 8,000 people in this building in a sold-out crowd, you want to get the crowd engaged in it. Mimi Collier is such a great way to do that with some firepower on the outside.
Yes, she is. Carries a lot of pressure and a target on her back every single night, per your point earlier, Emily. Back to the service line now. Whew, that's a tough serve. It's out. Nebraska will get away with one there.
And that's a service error that Wisconsin's got to be okay with. It's coming right down on the top of the tape and barely missing out of bounds.
So between Olivia Mauk and Lainey Choboy, when you don't have a libero totally settled in, both players capable of taking that role, does that impact this back row at all? Or are these two just flip back and forth between the position as well as anybody?
To be honest, it's plug and play with those two. Both Choboy and Mauk are such good bros that Danny Busman-Kelly feels so confident starting either and bringing in anyone off the bench if they want to switch jerseys as well, which we've seen throughout the year.
Yeah, both proving to be great teammates in that aspect. How about that rip from Alicia Andrew, the redshirt senior transfer from Baylor, rips it on the quick.
Alicia Andrew has been fantastic in the second middle position for Wisconsin. It was a question coming into the year of who is going to fill that role. Andrew was a massive get for Wisconsin from Baylor.
She and Addie Horner worked a little bit after hours yesterday at practice with that connection in the middle too. Big serve from Wardlow. That is wide, and so Wardlow will continue looking for her career high in aces. We'll see if she can get there. She has 3 tonight.
This was a rotation with Wardlow back on the service line that went for a big run that caught Wisconsin up during the first set. They're going to need more service pressure here on the Badgers side.
Oh my, looked out, but it catches the corner. But we promised it, and we foreshadowed it. Ace number 4 for Natalie Wardlow.
And how about this, a freshman coming in against the #1 team in the nation, and she is serving like it could be anyone on the other side. She's playing that gutsy.
New career high unlocked, and then sends an error right.
But to do that is really impressive.
That tip was easy for Mauk to read anyway. That ball was called a touch, but overruled by the up official saying it was out.
Up the front line needs to put him down within rallies.
Serve from Horner. Touch off the block. Landfair the enforcer this time.
Taylor Landfair has a little bit more range and have someone else that's more equipped to pick up the tip.
Nice scramble for Wisconsin. Sky high and still alive. Bergen Riley throws it down, says, come on. 2015, Nebraska needs 5 to take. And 20-0 since joining the Big Ten in 2011. Wow. Okay, Wisconsin needs a spark plug of some sorts. What do you think the discussion was for Kelly Sheffield at the timeout?
I think just finding ways to get more production, if that means being aggressive up front or getting good tips, but those connections have to be good right now. A really good front line for Wisconsin to try to hold right now with Egan, Andrew, and Collier, too.
Kristen Simon goes cross court to Lainey Choboy. A little inner rivalry there between those two. Nice shuffle from Addie Horner to get there, but Alicia Andrew throws it a touch wide. Such a luxury, too, for Wisconsin to have the backup setter in Addie Horner at her height, to be able to pull out some of these tighter sets.
USC, Indiana, and Penn State. Now, UCLA has been in and out of the rankings, so I'll consider them in that category as well. It's not an easy slate, but with how good Nebraska looks, I just don't know if the team has what it takes to put together 3 complete sets against this good of a defensive and offensive team.
11 sweeps in a row for this Nebraska team. Wisconsin looking to run for it here. Adriano finds the opening.
One of the difficult things about Nebraska as well is Harper Murray, of course, is their go-to attacker. She's one of the best attackers in the Big Ten. But even if she's having an off night and low efficiency, other attackers make up for it. They get so much production out of the middle. Adriano has matches where she's been able to go off on the right side. And you have Taylor Landfair to fall back on as another outside if Murray isn't doing well.
Yep. Marshall Murray leading the way. Chatted with John Cook ahead of this one, asked him who his player of the year vote would be on this Nebraska roster. He gave me Bergen Riley as his #1 pick.
Yeah, coming into the season, I do a top 20 countdown of my top players, and Bergen Riley is my #1 for that reason. I think she's a very underrated player because everyone around her is so flashy and so good, but Riley is just cool, calm, and collected and does her job so well every single night.
#2 would be Harper Murray on his list, but pick your poison.
Yeah.
4 players on a starting lineup that could get that nod at the end of the year. Says a lot. Set point here for the Huskers. Big swing on the pin from Quest. Sigler tries to tip out of the back row, is denied by the best blocker in the league, the Nets. Wisconsin still alive for now.
I like that one. I was like, where's she going with this one?
All right, here's Wardlow again, back at the service line where Nebraska has struggled in this rotation. Wow, textbook, start to finish. 3.0 pass from Harper Murray. Andy Jackson rips it home on the slide. It was unnoticed, but I don't think it's as recognized as it maybe deserves. Collier out of the back row to start for Wisconsin. Little life from the offense for the Badgers. Booth throws up a pass, loads up heavy on the approach, and Nebraska and the block were all over it.
Nebraska's defense is just absolutely dialed in. Even in transition, it's very easy for a blocker to miss the assignment when blocking a middle, but they've got 2 blockers up on the middle attack in transition on a quick.
Yeah, they suffocate you.
Yeah.
And the preparation for both sides coming into the night, but especially Nebraska, training for every single scenario. A side swipe down the line, thumb up goes Grace Egan.
Yeah, Wisconsin needs a little bit more of that firepower. Unload on the ball. The tips and the roll shots aren't falling on Nebraska's side, so Wisconsin has to continue to take big rips and really try to force Nebraska out of system with that power.
Nice serve from Egan gets Nebraska out of sorts. Riley throws her platform on it, never in a panic. Egan digs it up. Collier goes high hands. What a dig from Sigler. Simon keeps it alive with her hands, and it's Sigler who saves the day. That is sick from the backcourt of Nebraska.
Murray's kill doesn't happen if Sigler does not have this up. This is why you gotta have independent hands. Be ready to play outside your body, one hand at a time.
Even gets a little cheek pinch from Harper Murray in approval. Weigich gets her hands on it. Where's Bergen Riley going to go? That's the question every time. She goes to Jackson twice in the middle in 2 different attack positions. That's, again, credit to Bergen Riley. She's at the 10-foot line and rushing the middle, but then she has 3 other options everywhere else on the court.
Riley's range is so good. She's able to get the middle attack going. Even when she is off the net, that's something that not a lot of setters can do at this level.
Collier goes big on the approach, and the attack doesn't matter. Nebraska gets called in the net anyways.
Not even sure that net fault would have mattered with how much power Collier was bringing on that swing.
Boy digs out a tough pass. Weigich on it on her side. Collier again is dug out. Harper Murray attacks the block in front of her. And I think it's Wardlow that gets called in the net for the Badgers.
Just that slight come down on the top of the tape. Coming down off of the block. Wardlow in to provide just a bigger block up there. Just getting a little bit too aggressive.
Wardlow against the team she grew up watching in Lincoln, Nebraska. Riley kicks it back. It's Jackson. Man, she is fun and dynamic to watch on that slide attack. I could watch it all day.
It's crazy how well the connection has formed between Riley and Jackson, because not only does Jackson hit it well, but Riley has to put it in a position for her to go up and do that, and she's just never off on it. The connection is so good all the time.
The hang time, too, like even if it's slightly out of location. Collier doesn't care, unfazed by the moment.
Smart decision for Wisconsin to vary up where Collier is attacking from. This ball, it's called a rip, so it's a little bit faster and more inside the court. Makes it harder on the block for Nebraska to get in time and get a solid swing up.
Yeah,
solid block up.
Great observation by you. A couple of seams in that Nebraska block. Big serve from Wardlow again. It's tracked down by Choboy. What a get for the Cornhuskers. All right, Horner kicks it to the pin, and the slide attacker is Andrew.
High IQ play for a freshman setter, Addie Horner. Going up in the front row, she looks like she's going to attack it, which holds Nebraska's blocker a little bit longer and sets her middle one-on-one.
To the bottom of the net that time for Wardlow, laughs it off. Nia Warren checking into the lineup for the Badgers, number 16 in white. Meanwhile, Harper Murray back to the service line for the Huskers. Jackson, dynamic in front of the center as much as she is behind. And Bergen Riley quarterbacking, running different tempos, running different sets. Beautiful play.
Yeah, tough to stop because you never know where the middles are going to go.
Yeah, exactly. So good luck for Andrew in the middle blocking position for Wisconsin. Another dime from Weigich. Jackson again. Jams up Collier.
Collier's in a good position to make this block, but Jackson just gets on top of it quicker. The block isn't quite set up perfectly, just with the hands of Collier. Jackson's able to get on top of it.
It didn't look like a bad block from Collier at all. Set with her feet, pressed over across the net, and Nebraska unbeaten so far this season, and right now terrorizing every team they face. Not dropped a set since September 16th. We remind you of that because in today's parody, as Emily mentioned, it is not easy to do, and this Nebraska offense continues to go off. Andy Jackson with 11 kills. I think she rounded off 5 in the last 5 minutes. Hitting 6'11" out of the middle. Andy Horner feels like the rest missed a call there. She was setting, and you're not allowed to break the plane and interfere with that set. And Kelly Sheffield is pretty frustrated with this one, too. What do you think?
I understand the frustration because this is also a call that isn't challengeable on Kelly Sheffield's side. Look at the right side of your screen here in this replay.
All right, so here's the set by Horner. And Jackson is clearly breaking the plane and interfering with that set.
I would agree.
That's 6'3" Addie Horner, by the way, which again, chatted with Kelly Sheffield about Addie Horner, and he said, we just really liked her. She's two hours up the road in Illinois, and we're happy to have her, and they're not going to get the answer they liked here. Another look at it, I think yeah, the call was missed. But the physicality to having your backup setter, you know, no, it's not a perfect scenario for Wisconsin, but it is pretty darn good from Addie Horner, who connects with Collier in response.
A really good answer right out of that. Horner makes a smart decision to go out to Collier, even though Horner could have gone up and put that down by herself. She had an open net, but smart decision, I think, not to, and give that ball to Collier there.
Horner was ranked the #1 setter in Illinois. Wheaton, Illinois originally. Landfair casually throws that one into the Wisconsin block, who couldn't handle it.
Landfair sneaky, having a really efficient game tonight. She's 6 for 12 right now. She's hitting 500. For context, her season average right now is about 288, so really doing well against a top 11 team.
Egan loads up on the pin. Little switcheroo from the Badgers. Alicia Andrew goes off 1 foot, denied by the Cornhusker block.
Yeah, Wisconsin trying to just give a different look on offense, moving Egan from the right side to the left side, trying to get a little bit more production from her rather than Vajic, who was hitting negative up until this point. Got players sort of playing out of position right now, just trying to throw anything at the wall because Nebraska's defense is the best in the country for a reason.
Egan, unafraid, finds the seam, exploits it on cue.
This is where Wisconsin needs some kind of momentum. They need the tide to change right now and get the ball rolling on their side. The best way to do that is getting some powerful offense going.
Well, Egan's leading the way for the Badgers in hit percentage right now, hitting 400 with 7 kills. Right behind Collier, who has 10 kills at the moment. Harper Murray goes big off the block of Carter Booth from the back row. Her 13th kill of the night.
Just more dynamic offense on Nebraska's side. You always have that back row attack option with either Harper Murray or Terea Sigler coming through on the big.
Here's Bergen Riley. Collier handles the pass. Egan again from the pin. Nebraska can't solve the puzzle that is Egan with the hot hand.
Right now, Grace Egan heating up when Wisconsin absolutely needs it. I love the way that she's taking big swings right now. That's exactly what the Badgers need. She's going up and over the block on that one, too.
Wow, what a dig from Collier. That is sick. That was a lethal attack from Rebecca Alec. Loads up again. So the quick didn't work right in front. Let's push her out a little bit, says Bergen Riley.
Yeah, you might get Alec one time during a rally like this awesome up for Mimi Collier, but man, it's tough to get her twice during one rally. One of those has got to go down.
That's just the frustration of it. Egan rips it again. 3 unanswered kills from Egan on the pin.
Egan is doing this after having played the first 2 sets on the right side tonight. She is going off for Wisconsin, trying to put the team on their back, and she needs it.
Working the soft, short serve. Working so far for Wisconsin. Kristen Simon handles the free ball. Collier bombs it off the hands of Alec. Murray rolls it in. Carter Booth looking to get going in the middle. Jams up Alec. Harper Murray goes big, looking for hands. She does not find them, and Sigler. John Cook even said he had to negotiate with her dad, who was a softball coach at the time. Collier gets caught up in a tangle with Alec. Make sure that Alec is okay on the other side. Good sportsmanship on display there. That was almost scary. Little collision under the net. But as I was saying, this era of volleyball is so tough to pass that consistently.
Yeah, for context, the goal is to pass 60% in system, which rarely you see players do, especially as an outside. Really impressive what Vajic is able to do, but Egan back in to just try to give a different look. High-level volleyball.
Well, Sydney Hilly changed the trajectory of this Wisconsin program to new heights in 2021, as you mentioned, Emily. Roll shot dug out by the Badgers. That is deep from Wardlow. And when you're a coach in the Big Ten and you get a setter like Sydney Hilly, here's a look at her plaque in the clubhouse in 2018. You know when there's a setter in your program that can change the trajectory of your career in your program.
Yeah, that's exactly what Sydney Hilly did. She brought Wisconsin to their first ever national championship. That was something this team had been so close to so many times. Multiple Final Fours, just finding their way to build this program up under Kelly Sheffield. And you get a setter like Sydney Hilly to come in and lead that program. Of course, so good athletically, but also just what she brings in terms of leadership to that team. Really, like you said, change the trajectory of how that program is ran.
Adriana with the kill there. How about the dig, though, from Sigler? 13 digs for her tonight. New career high. Maybe not getting enough love in the backcourt to Rhea Sigler for the Cornhuskers. Showboy throws it high to the pin, and Harper Murray tries to clean it up. Simon does the same on their side. Another great dig from Bergen Riley. And a flying defensive play from Egan. Missed wide for Collier. Nebraska entering the red zone first once again. We showed you the numbers a moment ago. This would be a perfect October for the Cornhuskers if they can polish it off on a 6-point run. Their 27th set played here right now. Have not dropped a set this month.
This is Wisconsin's opportunity to just show a little life in them, try to gain some momentum toward the end of the set. You don't want to go out having this big of a point margin between you and your opponent. Of course, yes, it's Nebraska. They haven't lost a set in 36 tries now, but gotta still show some life and some fight.
Nice dig again from Grace Egan, staying scrappy. Collier looks for the touch and demands that Kelly Sheffield challenges this. By the way,
Wisconsin is challenging a block touch.
We'll look at it.
Question of whether or not there was a touch on this ball. Oh, yeah. Big touch.
Big touch.
That right pinky of Adriana, number 9.
No wonder Collier was so feisty on her way down. She said, you challenge that right now, mister.
I think you rarely get to kind of yell at your head coach, but if it's for a challenge and you feel good about it, heck yeah, get after it.
Especially when it's Kelly Sheffield on the other side. Yeah, this is a quick reversal here. Well, the fewest, but gives you the context of how dominant Wisconsin has been this season. Grace Egan, she's been stingy and right back. Okay, Mimi Collier finds it.
You love to see the fight in a player like Collier. Your team's down 10 points during that time, but she's still taking monster swings, trying to get some life back in this Badger team.
Jackson still keeps it alive for the Cornhuskers. Collier finds hands. Bergen Riley with another stellar dig. Harper Murray demanded the touch on her side, and she got it.
The precision that Harper Murray hits with, it's like something unreal. She's able to see the block so well and perfectly place her shots.
Brings Collier inside again. It's dug out by Sigler. It's been on fire in the backcourt. Simon goes to Wardlow, who tries to swipe the block on the other side. Choboy throws her body on the floor anyways, trying to dig out the tip. She was ready for it. Didn't need to be.
Yeah, just love the hustle and relentless defense that every Husker plays with on their side. That's why they're one of the most fun teams to watch, because everyone's flying around getting everything up.
How far would the backup team for Nebraska make it in the Big Ten? That's what
they've got to be middle of the pack, and that's why the starters for Nebraska are so good, because every day in practice they constantly talk about, we're basically playing what would be All-Americans on the other side on pretty much any other team in the country.
Speaks to the selfless nature of every player on this roster, that's for sure. Bergen Riley kicks it back to Andy Jackson, who gets the touch. But yeah, I would love to see that. I don't know, obviously, how we would, but to spend a day in practice with Nebraska and the depth they have on both sides of the court.
Yeah.
Match point for the Cornhuskers. Collier denies the glory for now. Point number 2 for the Cornhuskers. Everything comes down to the serve of Natalie Wardlow.